What's up YouTube, Dal here from Zephyr War Games, and today I am bringing you the very spicy and competitive upgrade to Goukis. So as highly requested from the poll yesterday, I've put the Goukis back together, and this deck can do some very scary things. I will show you a very basic 2-card combo at the end of this as well, and show you the exact end board it ends with, and how much further it can actually go. With all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. With all of that out of the way, let's dive head first into this very spicy upgrade for Goukis. So, we start off with triple Gouki Super X alongside double Cobra, double Guts, double Octo Stretch, and a single Headbat. Now, arguably Headbat can go up to 2 if you want to. That is entirely up to you. The last 2 Gouki cards is to rematch. These are all pretty straightforward. Your Super X is basically going to be normal summon and getting a trigger effect to special summon any one of these. But we do play a couple of extenders. And with the extenders, I kind of wanted to go for something that wasn't like, well, if I top deck it, that's it, game over, unless I was going first. So that's why I'm not playing Red Layer, and it's why I'm not playing the Junk Forward. But instead, I've actually gone for double Warrock Cactus, double Fire Flint, and then 1 instant fusion and 1 ready fusion, with a shout out to Reasoning and 1-for-1. Reasoning will make a little bit more sense as we go through the profile, because we actually play a huge range of levels. So in theory, we only play 6 level 4s, and then we play 4 level 1s, and I believe it is 4 level 3s, plus we've got some level 7s and 8s in there. So we've got a massive range and variety to kind of give us everything we need. Then, of course, with the Warrock Cactus, what makes it so good is if an Earth monster is normal summoned. Annoyingly, it's good that it's an if effect, annoyingly that it's only on normal summon. But basically what that means is if you normal summon Super X and your opponent imperms or veils it, you can still get your Cactus out, because it's an if effect, so it happens on a new chain. You can, of course, still use Butter Spite if you want to, but Cactus will then be able to trigger if you normal summon any of your other Goukis up the top as well. Moving on to the other monsters that we play before we get onto the spicy engine is we play, well, the Warrocks is quite spicy as well, I quite like that. The 1 0 Day, the 1 Phantom Knight, and the 1 Cloak, 1 Boots. Now, the 0 Day is really cool. I still really enjoy the combo. I think it's really good in order to get you into Bardiche. And what you're doing by going through to Bardiche is it gives you access to either a Time Thief redo of a trap or double Fog Blade. So it's entirely up to you. And the way I've kind of seen it is, what I didn't want to do with this deck is build a really good and powerful board, and then my opponent just go, Dark Ruler, and go, alright, cool, guess I lose. So I wanted to have the ability of, even if it gets Dark Rulered, it's like, yeah, okay, fine, I've still got 2 Fog Blade. So you need to Dark Ruler evenly me, or you're going to need to Dark Ruler Lightning Storm, Dark Ruler Duster. So like, you're going to need 2 cards to break my board rather than just the 1. The 0 Day is obviously the loop into that. Then we got onto the Spicy Engine. Now, the Spicy Engine can actually activate as an Omni Negate. You've probably seen it in my 6 Sand build that I did the other day. And it can act as a free extender. And that is a very mini Furion engine. So you've got the 1 Lily, the 1 King, and then double Bull. Now, the reason that this is so good, and the added effect that this actually brings to the deck, is it gives you the ability that if you've got a Gouki in the graveyard that either you forgot to use their effect, or more commonly didn't use their effect because it was in the graveyard by Foolish Burial, or it was sent there another way, Furion Bull can target it, summon it back, and then when you link Bull off with another warrior or anything else, it will trigger that Gouki. So if you're going to be doing it turn 1, great. More so for turn 2 if your opponent's like, right, you've got nothing, absolutely nothing. And that's going to come into play more with this Colosseum, which I'll talk about in a minute. But the idea is your Bull can then target a Gouki, and then all you need to do is normal summon a warrior or normal summon any monster, get into a link monster, your Gouki will then trigger to give you a rematch, and then before you know it, straight away you've got instant access into a link 4, if not other combo routes. And then of course your Regulus is an Omni Negate, so if you're able to set that up, great. And then your Lily is just a way of getting 2 strong monsters on the board, because Lily can then send any monster from the hand or field to the graveyard. A card from hand or field to the graveyard to add a Furion spell and trap, which gives you into the Disc Colosseum. Your Disc Colosseum can then, if Lily sends herself or she sends another Furion, or you've already got a warrior in the graveyard, can then search you out Bull, or of course can search you out Regulus. Now the reason Disc Colosseum is so good is if your opponent does not read this, they will lose the game to it. So when this card is activated, you get to add a Firion monster, so it's a very great Ash bait. And then once per turn, if your monster would be destroyed by battle, you can send one Firion card or Endless Argo system from your deck to the graveyard instead. And then once per turn, when a monster is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, yours or your opponent's, you get to target a Firion monster in your graveyard and add it back to the hand. So you can basically Foolish Burial a Bull or Foolish Burial a Regulus if you've already got a Firion in the graveyard or a machine, and then use the effect to add it back. So your opponent will be like, oh cool, I've cleared your board, you've got nothing left, I'm gonna attack, and you go, alright, cool, effect to send, and they're like, oh okay, whatever, I'll attack again, destroy it, and you go, okay cool, add it back to the hand. They'll clear your board out and they'll be like, yeah, cool, you got nothing left, and you just go, Firion, target, summon, equip to a Gouki, normal summon any warrior, link off, and then wham bam, you've got full combo again. So really, really good field spell, absolutely love it. And the reason we're only playing 2 is because playing 1 War Rock Mountain, 1 Magical Midbreaker alongside a single Terraforming and a set rotation. So with all of these field spells, what they all give you is they all give you something a little bit different. So the War Rock gives you a search for a free extender, and it can also protect any warrior monster from being destroyed by battle. Obviously, we've already gone over this Colosseum, and the Magical Midbreaker, it needs to specifically be activated at the start of main phase 1 or 2. So if you're going first, ideally what you want to be doing is you want to be activating set rotation during the draw phase or the standby phase. That will then give your opponent probably War Rock Mountain, just in case they're playing Firions, and then you get to activate your Midbreaker. That completely protects all of your plays from Imperms and Veilers, which can be pretty dominant depending on what locals you're at. Keep in mind as well though, if you do go this route, it will protect your opponent from Fogblade, but it won't protect them from Time Thief Reader. So it's something you need to keep in mind when you activate that, especially if you do it off a set rotation, because you cannot activate or set field spell cards. So you will be locked out of your other field spells depending on how you played it out. Off the back of that as well, we've got Foolish Burial cards. So not only can Reasoning be considered as a Foolish Burial, but so can Endless Argo System and Foolish Burial itself. Like I mentioned previously, if you were to Foolish Burial a Gouki and you've got Bull in the hand, Bull will target that Gouki, get another warrior to the monster, whether it be a normal summon or whatnot, link it off, Bull will then be able to trigger that Gouki. So it's another route to get to a Gouki if you need to, or of course you can send a Regulus, and if you've got the access to your Firion, you get to play from there. Not to mention you can constantly keep looping this and a Firion from the graveyard back to the hand and then this to the bottom of the deck, and that means you're never going to get decked out with Mystic Mine. Then, of course, we've got the one Druidol. I couldn't actually find my copy, really annoying. And then the one Divine Phoenix Sword. So, obviously, the idea behind these are your 2 equip spells. You're probably going to send Phoenix Blade more times than not. And then your Druidol is just one of them cards where if you open it, it gives you access to your Fireflint, which is a free warrior as you see fit. Alongside Reinforcement of the Army. And the last 2 traps is the one Shade Brigandine and the one Fogblade. Now, like I said, if you wanted to, you can play 2 Fogblades. It really depends on how defensive you want to be. But the reason I've gone with a 1-on-1 is that this can be utilised going first and second. Whereas double Fogblade, it's kind of like, I don't want to just go second, set 2 and pass. Like, you kind of want to, you need to break that board and either go for the OTK, which this deck can do, or you're going to be going for a bit more of a protective lineup. So that's it for the main deck. I believe it currently sits at exactly 40 or 41 cards. And it's just something that I have cooked up. It's always nice to kind of revitalise these decks. Like I said, I'll show you a very basic combo at the end of the video, so do not go anywhere. For the extra deck, of course, we've got our instant fusion target of Raijin and our ready fusion of the Carbonala Knight. Obviously, the idea behind this is Raijin is just going to be a warrior monster, but it has that nice Book of Moon effect should you need to use it. The warrior gives you that ability for a level 4 if you want to try and push for your redoer plays. Otherwise, it is just going to be there as a free warrior extender. The only rank 4 we play is the Time Thief Reader. The reason we only play the 1, if you wanted to, you could play Abyss Dweller, you could play Gouki, you can play any kind of rank 4 monster you want, or you can just put in another link monster, it's entirely up to you. But the idea behind this is that, I'll show you in the combo, you're actually able to set this up with a trap. So your end board will be a free negate Appaloosa if you don't get Nibiru, and even if you do get Nibiru, you'll still have plays to make. So you'll get a free negate Appaloosa, you'll have a Bardiche with 1 Fogblade set, and a redo with a bounce, and if you steal an opponent's spell, you'll get a draw as well, which is really nice. So moving on to the link monsters, we'll go from 4 to 1. So we've got our defensive link 4 and our aggressive link 4, pretty standard on that one. You've got your Instigator, I suppose, in Bardiche. You've got your Bouncer in Unicorn. You've got your Selene route into Access Code. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, whoa, how are you doing that? Well, with this little tech here, the way this works is you can go into Isolde, which we do play 2 of. So you go into Isolde, so if you're going in, let's say this is turn 2, and they've broken your board or whatnot, you go into Isolde. Isolde can special summon any level 1, so that can be Guts or that can be Fire Flint. You then turn that Guts or Fire Flint into an Anima. You then use Anima plus Isolde, go into Celine, because Anima is a spellcaster. And believe it or not, a lot of people actually forget that this card exists, so they do leave their monster in the extra monster zone, or like in a zone where this can point to it, which is really great, especially when you try and steal or bait out one of their negates. We've then, of course, got the Code Breakers. Again, I really, really like these cards. Such good cards. The fact that they can instigate you to Rusty. If you're not a fan of this, you could try and put a Warrior Tuner in the deck. And by doing so, what that will give you access to is that will give you access to Halifibrax. And off the back of Halifibrax, you can go into Dagda, Scythe, TG, and Baron. So entirely up to you. And the last 2 cards we've got is the one Cerberus and the one Phoenix. Now, these are actually really cool because if you get the ability to get these off, Cerberus is probably going to be a little bit better because it actually allows you to co-link Appaloosa and Rusty, but the Phoenix will allow you to protect Appaloosa from battle. So it's like if you expect your opponent to play Dark Holes, Raigekis, Lightning Storms, you go Cerberus, co-link it to Appaloosa and Rusty, and they're not going to be able to go, cool, Lightning Storm clear. The other one of connecting it to Appaloosa is it then does mean that you can protect your board as well. Even when you've burnt through your negates of the Appaloosa, your opponent can then just not go one punch, clear it off. It is a bit of a downside because it would leave you with a monster with 0 attack on the board. So if they got multiple monsters, they can just punch away. But yeah, it does give you a kind of something to look at. Anyway, that's it for the extra deck and the main deck and the full deck in general. I'm now going to zoom out and I'm going to show you a very basic 2-card combo. So, zooming out, the basic 2-card combo, I'm just going to put 3 random cards in my hand so you can see that our opening hand, which will be important because we will be able to replenish our hand as well. So what you need is you need any 2 warriors, basically. And what I mean by 2 warriors is you need a starting warrior and you need an extender. So, Suplex, great if you've got another Gouki. If not, we're going to go with Gactus. Now keep in mind as well, for your warriors plus extenders, if you don't include Suprex and consider Suprex an extender, but you've got like 10 Goukis or 10 starters, and then you've got like 8 to 10 routes to an extender. So you should be able to get an opening hand like this very, very easily. So we're going to normal summon the Suplex and we're going to trigger the Gactus to summon. It can be any way around. Like, I mean, if you've opened up another Gouki, you're good to rock and roll that way. It really doesn't matter. Just 2 warriors is all you need. Then what you're going to do here is you're going to go Isolde. Now, this is a little bit of a choking point. If they were to imperm you now, you kind of go, oof, that's powerful. But you go chaining 1 Isolde to search, chaining 2 of Suprex to search. Now, specifically on this one, we're not actually going to add back a rematch unless you've already got Headbat in the hand. So you search off Headbat from Suprex, and then you search off any Gouki that you're not going to use this entire turn. So I would go for either Guts or Twist Cobra. You're then going to use Isolde's effect to send the Divine Phoenix Sword, and that's going to allow you to summon out, it can summon out Guts if you didn't add it, or it's going to summon out your Octo Stretch. Then what you're going to do here is you're going to discard the Twist Cobra and summon down the Headbat. You can, at this moment in time, if you want to, banish the Gactus to add back the Divine Sword, just so you're maintaining a bit of hand advantage. It's now at this point that your opponent needs to Nibiru you, because if they Nibiru you, you'll still be able to make a bit of a combo. If they don't, then you're going to be able to kind of just build up from there. The only thing that you might want to consider is maybe a Link Spider, but it's not entirely necessary. So then what you're going to do here is you're going to link all of these together, and you're going to go into an Appaloosa, which is why it is their last chance to Nibiru you, unless they've been like next level big brains and they're sitting on like an imperm Nibiru. You're then going to be able to trigger and go chaining 1 Headbat, chaining 2 Octo Stretch. Now off of the Headbat, what you want to search out is you want to search out, I personally like to search out anyway, an Octo Stretch, because then if my opponent does clear my board or my opponent tries to go for lethal, Octo Stretch can actually be discarded to protect that. And then off of course, the Headbat, you go for a rematch. Then at this point here, what you want to do is you want to activate your rematch. You can see we've replenished our hand +1, so we're doing good already. You bring back any 2 apart from the one you searched off of the Isolde, and you're going to link these 2 together, and you're going to go straight into your Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. Let's move the hand. The hand's not really that important right now. You'll trigger the Virus Swordsman effect, which lets you special summon from the deck to a zone a link monster points to. Again, this is why it's nice to have Appaloosa, because you can protect it from being stopped. You then get to link these 2 together, and this will then let you go into your Code Breaker Virus Berserker. Now, it does say up to 2, so if your opponent DD Crows one of your targets, you've still got plays to make, so it's not the end of the world. The only time DD Crow would really suck is if they... because I'm pretty sure you need to summon back both with the rematch. I could be wrong, but that could really suck. Then you're going to put your Virus here, and you're going to put your 0 Day here. Now, your two options is you can link these two together for Bardiche if you want to keep this around, but because I'm going for a rank 4 player of the Time Thief Reader, I'm actually going to overlink. You treat Virus Berserker as a 1 and Swordsman as its own 2, and you go into Rusty. I like to put Rusty here because then it unlocks another zone. You then use Rusty's effect. That will then let you send from your deck to the graveyard Cloak. You then set your Shade Brigandine, and then you'll banish the Cloak to search you out your boots. So set the Shade Brigandine, search you out your boots. You're going to activate the Shade Brigandine, and you're going to summon down the boots. Now, this is where you need kind of like another extender to get you the Fog Blade, otherwise you go for the Fog Blade first. If you're playing double Fog Blade, then obviously you would make a link to here, which could be Dagda, it could be IP, it could be anything you want to. The other way you can do this as well is you can link 3 into a Unicorn. It's entirely up to you on where you want to go. And the way you can link 3 into a Unicorn and get advantage of it is you could equip the sword to one of your monsters, make a Unicorn, discard to spin it, and then draw 1 card. So entirely up to you on where you want to go. The ideal scenario is trying to get boots off the board, which is probably where you might want to keep Virus Swords. But let's say we've got an extender, let's say we've got a Firefin. I mean, we still have a full hand. So, I mean, it could even be a Therion, it really doesn't matter. So, option number 1 is with this one is you can just go to Redoer and you leave boots without a Fog Blade. Option number 2 is you can link off your Code Breaker plus your boots, which will give you access into Fog Blade. Another one that you could do as well is if you kept your Virus Berserker around, is you turn your Shade Brigandine into a Link Spider. You can then use Link Spider and Codebreaker Virus Berserker and go into a Avramax, which again just gives you another level of protection, but it is entirely up to you on where you want to take it. Keep in mind as well that these are both warriors, so you could go into another Isolde. You could also, if you put Appaloosa this side, you could put these two into a Cerberus, which will protect these from card effect. So it gives you a couple of routes, a couple of options. So this is your Fog Blade option. If you get your extender, let's say we did get our extender, then you would actually get your Cerberus and you'd get a Redoer. So that's just how important extenders can be. And then you'll get a Fog Blade set as well. And then that's your end board. So your end board is these 3 can't be destroyed by card effect. You've got 3 negates here. You've got a Fog Blade to target negate. And then you've got a Redoer, detach, bounce a card, non-target. So again, it's kind of cool. I really like the idea of I still like where this deck can go and what it can do, and it can be customized. Like if you're not a fan of Redoer, you're not a fan of Brigandine, double Fog Blade, nice and easy. If you want to play Red Lair because you want to have more extenders, if you're not a fan of the Code Breakers because it takes up too much extra deck space, you can go into more extenders and basically build towards a Dagda lock if you want to. And like I already mentioned, if you really wanted to, you could put a you could put a tuner into deck, a warrior tuner, so that off of Isolde it gives you instant access into Hadi Fibrax, and then go from there. And then what Hadi Fibrax can do is Hadi Fibrax can summon out Jet, and then Jet can be turned into the Spellcaster, the Relinquish Anima, and then off the back of that will then give you access to your Selene play as well. So, that was everything. That is the combo, that is the deck. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's given you a couple of ideas for your own build. I really enjoy it. I can't wait to see where it goes from here. It can definitely be upgraded a little bit more if you wanted to put the Brave package in. The only card that would trigger an effect on normal summon is your Super X, and that's where you'd go for, like, you'd sacrifice for more extenders. It will give you an additional discard for your Therion plays as well, and it will unlock a negate protection for you. And it will give you an equip spell in the main deck. Not that you want to be sending that, but it does give you that option should you need to. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, guys, as absolutely always, stay safe. And of course, happy dueling.